Welcome everyone to day 5. We are halfway through. Can you believe it? Time flies. Halfway through this 10-day training of how to get 4 to 5 figure deals, even if you don't have an offer, you don't have a list, because we covered all that stuff. Today, John is going to show you how you can actually close the sale. 5-step, simple step presentation. Actually, there are more into that, right, John? Oh, hold on. You are muted. Sorry. There we go.
Have you got me?
Yes.
Do you hear me? Yeah, thanks. When we look at 5 steps, I guess there are 5 stages in that process, in that sales process. But ultimately, you're going to be sort of reiterating the same sort of question over and over again, because we kind of have to ask people more than once if they'd actually like to buy. So I'm actually going to walk you through kind of the structure of the presentation, things to say, how to actually, I want to literally walk you through from in that closing stage, how to close, to get to an agreement, to get the payment on the phone, and then more importantly, what has to happen at the end of your presentation so that you're helping people. Because this is probably the most critical part of the entire process, is that you have a structured approach. And what we've already done is we've crafted a compelling offer. We've made the initial engagement. We've had a conversation. Yesterday we had a pretty brief conversation about what was important, why that was important to them, what was the roadblocks holding them back. If we could eliminate those roadblocks, put a plan into place, and then perhaps look at the opportunity of working together. So it's almost like we've followed a 5-step principle before we even got to the sales process itself, because we're actually in the middle of the sales process. And so in this presentation, we're talking about what has to happen when you have the actual sales conversation. And we've got a few different, over the coming days, we've got a few different variations and structures, because this is where a lot of people get caught up is, well, what do I say to people when I want to sell them stuff, right? How do I get them to pay me money? How do I invoice? There's all these sorts of questions. And, what do I do? And, how do I structure a proposal? In this step, essentially what we're trying to do is eliminate the idea of proposal and actually just come out and ask, would you like me to help? Would you like, can we go ahead, implement this idea, this plan that you said that you wanted? Can we work together and get this thing started? And so one of the things, and this is really critical for everybody who's watching this training or listening to this training live, is that a sales process, essentially, and this conversation that we have to take people through a demonstration or a presentation of what we have to offer, essentially is a conversation that has a purpose. And that purpose is that your prospective customer's purpose, their objective, their outcome. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to bridge the gap and say that we are the solution provider to help them to bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to be. And that's essentially what we're going to be covering in this process. So I'm going to go through some fundamental things that you want to do to maximize your opportunity to be able to close. And something I want to be really clear about, if you thought about yesterday's training, and if you haven't watched it, I'd highly recommend everybody watch yesterday's training, because you'll notice that I did some really clear things to set today up as the perfect presentation, so that we kind of eliminated things like objections. We kind of got the price out of the way. We kind of got the idea of, hey, do we need a partner or a spouse or someone else that needs to be here? And we also got permission that a decision is going to be made in this presentation. So we've kind of set this up right at the very beginning. So the first part of this step is to kind of go back to just reiterate what we did yesterday, but in a brief way, so that it reminds the prospect as to why they're here in the first place.
So wait, before we get into that, John, if you're watching us anywhere online, I can see that you are watching, because I can see the views. Hop on here, consultingrocket.tv/live. Hop on in here, because John, I'm going to put you on the spot and throw it out there and see if we can make that happen. Why don't we have, after we go through the process, one of you guys who are watching us, hop on in and let's practice the sales presentation in real time for you. So what you want to do is you want to come in to consultingrocket.tv /live right here. Click the button below this video, hop on air. When we're done with the training and everything, you get to practice that in real time. What does that sound like, John?
Yeah, we can do that. They can be the client. I can be the salesperson. We can sell a client that they're going after in this particular process. Yeah?
Okay, so guys, this is fantastic. Come on in. Let's do that with you. John and I are going to model this for you, how this conversation should work. So you know when you're coming in, how you can do that with your clients. Two things that I'd like you to do ahead of time, right? Before you are coming in is I want you to come to our page, consultingrocket.tv, click here to access the worksheet. This is the worksheet. We're going to cover all these things, and notice that you have space to take notes. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how the 4 questions that make your prospects want to work with you. So make sure that you're joining us tomorrow. And another really cool thing, we have a new number 1 in the game. David Walters just beat Lauren by 1,000 points. So Francis, you're dropping, buddy. Come on up. See you there. So go to the website. Open the worksheet, make sure that you have it printed so you can take some notes. We're going to model the conversation for you, and then you can come on in and actually practice that for yourself. So let's get started.
All right. So I'm just going to give you the 5 steps here very quickly. We've got the hot or not, the qualifier. That's the first step. I'd like to get to know you a little bit better is the second step. Let's go dancing is the third step. I like you and you like me, so let's work together, right? And this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship. So there may be some Casablanca movie references to the 5 steps, but essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to build this know, like, and trust relationship with a person who's about to spend thousands of dollars with us. They're not spending $100 or $900 or $50. They're going to spend, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars. In some cases, they're going to be spending $20, $30, $40, $50, or $100,000 over the course of a year with the service we have. So to expect somebody in such a short succession to just whimsically decide that they're just going to hand over money to you because you've got a great idea is going to be a little bit difficult for some people to swallow. So you need to put yourself in the customer's shoes. And that's why in this process that we go through that initial qualifying stage, and so what we're trying to do is we're seeing if we're a fit, right? We've done that yesterday. We're the right fit. This is the right place that you're in. This is a plan. This is your objective. You wanted to generate 20% increase in revenue. And then, we're obviously asking some questions. So I did a little bit of discovery in that phone call yesterday to get really clear. So when we're kind of starting and kicking this off in this particular iteration, we want to be able to right up front go through and say, hey, thanks for getting on. I really appreciate you being here. Look, we have time here to go through. We said that I was going to develop a plan based on your objective of an increase in 20%, $400,000 worth of extra patient revenue for your practice. You're looking to eliminate the fact of improving conversions. You're looking to maximize the opportunity to be able to follow up and essentially add 10 to 15 patients per month to your practice. Has anything changed, Yafat?
Not at all. I'm looking forward to seeing how you can make this pay for itself.
Awesome. So I understand the reason why you want to do this and why this is a now thing is that, you wanted to expand your practice. You want to spend more time with your family. You want to be able to hire people in so that you can actually leverage your time and obviously enjoy the fruits of having your practice grow and add the revenue that you need to be able to free yourself up to spend time with your family, your children. The whole reason as to why you did this in the first place.
Yeah.
And ultimately, this is a now thing rather than later thing. So is that right?
Totally. We're starting a new decade. I cannot wait to spend it more with my kids.
Great. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through just to give you a perspective of a plan. But what I want to do is I want to just say, look, we've all been in this situation where we've been in presentations and we've been in, a sales call type scenario. And I just want to say, throughout any time in this presentation, Yafat, if you feel that this isn't for you, and this is right for you, I'd like for you to call time and say, hey, this isn't for me, so that it enables you to, one, not waste any more of your time. We don't need to talk about things that are not relevant, things that won't be useful to your business. But is it okay if you can let me know at any time if you feel that this isn't for you, that you can literally hold me up and opt out and leave this conversation? Is that cool?
Fantastic. Thank you for saying that.
Now, alternatively, Yafat, I also want to be able to say no to you. So if I feel at any time that this isn't a fit for you, is it okay if I call time and say, hey, look, this isn't, I don't think this is for you, and then we can still stay friends, but we can go off on our merry way. Is that okay with you?
Totally fine. Thanks.
Awesome. Now, very quickly, I just want to stop right there. We've reiterated the objective. We've reiterated the reason why it's important. We've reiterated what's the bottleneck. We've now said, hey, it's okay for you to say no, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for you to say no, and it's also okay for me to say no. Right? So we're taking the air out of the expectation of you having to buy stuff, right?
Yes.
And so this is the thing. It's like we know why we're here, because yesterday I asked the question. Look, is it okay if you like the idea? I want to be able to share with you how we can work together. So is it okay if we get a decision, if it's favourable to you, on whether or not you'd like to go ahead with that? Can we seriously consider what we have to offer? And you said yes.
Yeah.
Right. So now, in this moment, I'm just going to very quickly say, look, now remember yesterday I said, hey, through this presentation, I'm developing a plan and a structure. I asked you that, if you felt that this was a great idea, or this is something that you wanted to pursue, that I'd ask you to take serious consideration to what we have to offer here. Is that okay with you if we ask that of you, Yafat?
Yes, totally. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So just a quick stop there before we continue on with this sales presentation. So we've reiterated the objective. We've got the why it's important. We know now that this is a must now. We want to do this, so this is a now thing, right? Mm-hmm. We've got the fact that you can stop at any time and leave, so you can say no, right? And at the same time, we've also said, hey, look, if this works for you, or this is okay for you, then I'm going to show you how we can work together, and I'm going to ask you to get started. And now you've agreed to that as well, right?
Yep.
So we've got yes, 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 right? Everything is, yep, all sounds plausible, all sounds logical, all sounds real.
Yep. And what's cool about this, John, is that I don't feel being sold to. I just feel like, hey, this is just a conversation. You're here to help me. And if it's not right, it's not right. I can leave. So there's no pressure of like, oh, I'm being attacked.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the whole psychology in this sales process is that I'm going to help you, right? And so I want to make sure that in that process that you get the help that you need, because that's why we're here. That's the reason why we're here, right? So in the next step, and this is another little bit of a qualifying step, and this is where you get the prospect, you get to do the work, and I get to do the listening, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason why I get to do the listening is because I want you to hear in your voice the answers to these questions. Because if you ask these questions, if you don't ask these questions in your mind and you don't verbalize these questions to me in this presentation, then this sale will not happen.
Right.
If you verbalize these three questions in your mind, and you don't tell me you don't ask me these questions in this presentation, you're out. You're not going to buy, right? So this is eliminating some objections, right? Mm-hmm. Right up front in this presentation. So that in your mind, you're clear about why this is important and why you're here. So the question I'm asking you is, I just want to be really clear. Why this? Why do you think Facebook is your opportunity instead of other things? Why do you think Facebook is important for you right now?
Yeah, so I've seen people succeed with this. I've never had any luck. I actually paid someone. I've been down this road before. I've tried to do it. Everybody promised me so many things, and it never worked for me. And then I see other people succeeding. Obviously, I see ads in my feed as well. So I know people are making money or they won't spend money. And so I'm like, well, maybe I just didn't get the right system or I just didn't talk to the right person. Someone knows how to do this and I haven't come across them yet.
Okay. So you understand that Facebook is still your opportunity because it's a direct access to the market, to the community, direct access to your local community, and also allows you to become visible, brand, message your service. And I understand I understand why Facebook is appealing and attractive because it is a place where you can have direct access to the market. Right.
Yeah.
So the next question I ask you is to look, I know that you get approached a lot, you've been approached by other companies, but you've actually taken the time to sit down with me. So can I just ask you why you decided to pursue or proceed in sitting down with me and looking at ways of helping you to achieve this outcome right now?
You
Why
know,
me?
yesterday's conversation was really great. You were not pushy, you were not salesy, and you told me that it's going to pay for itself, and you can actually show me how I can make more money. It's not going to cost me anything. So if I can grow my business without without losing money on this, I'm really curious to see how.
Okay. And the other question I want to ask is why now, this timing? Why is it now and no other timing? Like, right now we could be, we could wait till January or February or March to do something like this. But why now for you? Why is this important for you to achieve that 20% growth rate, that $400,000 worth of revenue? Why is it vital now as opposed to, other times, not other times?
We're starting a new decade in 2 weeks, which is crazy to me. And it's like, I feel like if I'm not going to change anything, the next decade is just going to be like the last one. So something has to
Hmm.
change.
Hmm. What else? Why else is this a must for you?
You know, my kids are growing. I don't get to spend a lot of time with them. And if I just gonna keep grinding in my business and doing the same thing, expecting different results, that's just insanity, right?
Hmm. So, look, I just want to feed that back to you. So, ultimately, I get that a new decade is here, new ideas, new opportunity. But at the end of the day, we want to be working towards the outcome that you're looking for. Now, I'm just going to stop myself in that moment just here, and I'm me asking why this, why me, why now. Whoever's doing the presentation, you should be writing notes. Like, Yafat just said, hey, look, I know this is important. Other people are getting success. I haven't had great results with this, but other people are doing it. And I'm just trying to find a way to get this working. So I know that there's value in this, and I know why Facebook is important. So this is the thing, because the reason why I'm asking this question, Yafat, is if I don't ask this question and you ask this question in your head while we're having conversation, you go, you know what? Why am I doing Facebook? Why don't I do AdWords or
Yep.
newspaper advertising or TV advertising or radio advertising? So all I'm doing is allowing you to confirm in your mind to say why this is good, why Facebook instead of anything else, right?
Right.
Because we're about to talk about a strategy utilizing Facebook to deliver the result that you're looking for, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. The second thing that happened here is the why me. You've said, hey, you're not pushy, you're professional, you're sitting there, you're building, you're confirming in your own mind that I kind of trust you a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like you haven't been pushy. You've been really professional. You're talking about getting a proper return. It all kind of makes logical sense. You've been very professional. So essentially, what I'm asking you to do is to sell yourself, on me.
Yeah.
When I'm asking you, look, you could have sat down with anybody, but you decided to choose to sit down with me. Why did you do that? What made you decide to go ahead with this?
Right.
Right? And then
Right.
you went, well, you made sense. You weren't pushy. You listened. You kind of understood where we're heading. So in your mind, you're confirming why me. But again, if you ask this question in your head without asking me this question verbally, right? If I allow
Mm-hmm.
you to ask that question, then what happens is dead duck. Now, this is the thing. If somebody says Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Then you say, you know what? We could probably be spending the same money on newspaper ads. Now I have to justify Facebook to you,
Right.
right? As
Right.
soon as I have to justify why Facebook is important, then I'm a dead duck. It's not going to happen. I have to convince you. If I have to convince you, then it's not going to work because it has to come from you, not from me. That's why I'm asking you why this, why Facebook, right? When
So,
I'm
so
asking
what you're
you,
saying,
go on.
John, is that you're saying that the conversation yesterday was critical to our conversation today. right? Because everything that you told me yesterday's conversation kind of build up the trust and the affinity to this conversation now.
Yeah. And also in your mind, I'm allowing you to go, you know what? I trust this guy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm willing to listen. Yeah. And the last question of why now, I'm allowing you to reconfirm why this is important, why this is a must, right?
Yeah.
Why this, why, I got to do this, new decade. We've got to make this work. I've got kids. I want to raise the revenue. I want to build my business. So I'm allowing you in your head to say, you know what, this is why I need to do this now. If this makes sense to me, or if this is plausible to me, I need to do this now, not later, not next year, not 10 months from now. Now is the time. And in your mind, I've got to get you to verbalize that now is the time. Because if I tell you now is the time, then that's me telling you. But if you're telling me now is the time, then if it comes up as an objection, I can say, hey, remember at the beginning you said this is a now, what's changed?
Right.
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 Is it not a now anymore? Oh, no, it is a now. Right. It's like this. Oh, yeah, that's right. No, it's important. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm allowing you to verbalize to yourself and to voice it out, to hear in your own words why this is a must now as opposed to later. Right.
So we have a question.
Delayed.
Yeah, we do have a question. Maish is asking if someone jumps on this call, on the second call, and all they're interested in is the price from the conversation. I'm assuming we fixed that yesterday, right?
We fixed the whole price thing on yesterday's call. We actually shared the price right at the very in the call itself. We said roughly this is what your investment's going to be, and actually the price came from you, not from me. The client selected the price option because I said how much would you spend to acquire a customer that's going to spend $2,000 in your practice for a plan of care, and you said $200. So if we were going to attract 10 clients, that's $2,000. If we want 15 clients, that's $2,500, right? But you're willing to spend to generate $30,000 worth of revenue, right? So we've eliminated this whole price issue on the previous call, and we've also created an anchor point on the call of value, not about the price. If the person say, I want to get to the price, then this sales call is all wrong. Yeah. Because you've set it up incorrectly. This is not about you helping them. This is about going, I just want to know how much it costs. And if I don't want to know how much it costs, then it's not going to work. Right. Nothing you say is going to work because it's going to be about the money and not about what it is that you're trying to build here. You're trying to build a structure that supports what the business is looking for, a predictable revenue source, right? So the price becomes elastic, right? Because if I said to you, hey, well, if we put this campaign together and we can generate, $150,000 worth of revenue, then what we're looking for is an investment of about $20,000.
Right.
Right. And then if you go, oh, wow, that's a big price. Well, hang on a second. We're generating $150,000 worth of revenue for $20,000 investment. How is that a bad deal?
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. So now, but they're going, oh, but that's expensive. How is that expensive? 150 grand, 20 grand. How is that expensive?
Right. And yesterday you also asked me how much would I give to pay that much. And so you're right. I gave you the price and you'd be like, you said this is fair enough. So yeah.
Yeah. I said, okay, yeah, if we had a budget like that, then, we could probably, we could do that. I mean, for $1,000 in the physical therapy space, for $1,000, right? We know that we can generate between 50 and 100 patient inquiries for $1,000. Right? Yeah. To hit your conversion, you needed 30 patient inquiries. Just 30.
Right.
Not 50, not 100. And you said that you would invest $2,500, not $1,000. You would double the investment in ad spend, right? In marketing spend.
Yeah.
To get that outcome, right? So just so people are very clear about this point, the money side, if you're getting into this is about the price, you're not going to make that sale because no price you give them is going to be good enough. Right. No price you give them is going to be good enough because they're going to go, oh, that's a little bit sick. If you said $500 a month, well, what can I get for $500? Like, really $500? Geez, you can't get much for $500. It can't be that good, right?
Right.
And then you go on the other side of the coin and say, well, it's going to cost you $7,000, $8,000 a month. Wow, $7,000, $8,000 a month. Wasn't expecting that. That's a lot of money, out of the budget. Like that's 2 employees. Like now I'm rationalizing the price, right? So in this cold conversation, Manish, if you go back to yesterday's conversation. It eliminates the price issue. It eliminates the anchor because the price was already established. If you're willing to pay 2.5, I could probably get you to pay 5, right? Because at the end of the day, what we're focusing on is a plan to bridge the gap from where you are now to where you want to be. Now, if you had to pay $40,000, you fart, to make $400,000 worth of revenue, would that be worth doing?
That would be worth doing. Yes.
It's a 1 in 10.
Yes,
deal.
it's a 1 to 10,
Now,
10x.
yeah. And here's the thing: even if I said, "Hey, you fart," if it cost you 60,000 to generate 400 grand, still a good deal.
Still a good deal. Yeah.
Yeah. If it cost you 100,000 to generate $400,000, still a good deal.
Still a good deal. Yeah.
It's still a good deal, right?
Yeah.
Until you get to a point you go, you know what? There's a risk, right? The price is at a certain value level. The rate of return is starting to shift, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to do is just anchor in your mind what you're willing to spend on acquiring a customer, right? And then think about that in lifetime value. You know, one customer is going to refer, if you've got a practice, you're getting 30 to 40% referrals. So for every 10 customers we bring you another 3 or 4 new customers that you don't have to pay for in your marketing.
That's true.
Over and above what you're getting right now. So even if you were paying $5,000 a month, it's not that you're getting the 40 grand or the 30 grand in plan of care. What you're getting is actually $50,000 to $60,000 in plan of care.
And that applies to all business. When you're treating your customers right, referrals, reviews, everything comes in. So you do actually over deliver anyway, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the only way the client understands that if they get what's actually happening in that exchange. So now that we've got the resolve, now that we've got why this is important to you and why this is a must, right?
Yes.
Now is where we come into the demonstration. So if I was doing this, I wouldn't be, in a phone conversation, if you're physically verbalizing this, right? The person can't see a picture in their mind, right?
Why?
So you either have to get them to draw a picture, or you've got to show them a picture, right? So what I mean by that is, if you're just doing this on a phone call without like doing Zoom or Skype or whatever, then you have to graphically explain. You have to demonstrate through the numbers, right? You have to say, okay, so for example, this is why most Facebook campaigns don't work. The strategy is wrong, the optimization is wrong, the setup is wrong. There's no testing, there's no scaling of the campaign. Ultimately, what do you think, when that happens?
What happens when that stagnates?
Yeah. When we do all those things wrong, we don't optimize, we don't plan, we don't have the right strategy, we don't test, we don't run our campaign to scale, what happens?
You know, it's basically my life story, right? I spend money
fails,
and I don't get anything back.
So what I'm going to do, is I'm going to walk you through a demonstration of what you should be doing to get a better result in this plan, because our objective, our goal is to get that outcome that you're looking for, that $400,000 with revenue. So is it okay if I demonstrate to you the process that we're going to implement to get that outcome?
Yes, please. I've been waiting for that.
Go, yes.
Yes.
So now you say, quick point, everybody, at this point of the recording, think about what I've just said. I've asked you permission now to show you how we're going to show you what we're going to do to get the result that you're after, right? So generally what you want to do, without describing, what we do as a pitch deck, I'm not going to take you through a pitch deck because that would take a lot more time, but the structure is very simple, right? You build an optimized process. You have a workflow. The easiest thing you can share is a Venn diagram of boxes saying, step 1, this is what we do. We've got to run a campaign to generate traffic directly from the market. To do that, we've got to set up some creative. That creative, we've got to test a few offers. From those offers, we're going to write some copy. We've got our copy team, and then what we're going to do is we're going to optimize our campaign. Now, this is what happens when a customer sees your ad. They're going to click on the advertisement. They're going to come through and either download your information or pick up the phone and call you because they're interested in what you have to sell. Right? Mm-hmm. And so we can actually follow and track the customer's journey through this process. Now, at the end of that, we want to get as many of those people as possible. And so there is a cost involved in per impression. But more importantly, what we're trying to find is the cost of what it takes for you to sell that $2,000 plan of care. Now, that cost could be anywhere from $40,000 to up to $200, right? For
Yeah.
you to generate a $2,000 plan of care. So it's not about the clicks that we're going to get. It's more about the cost of acquisition. Because if we know the cost of acquisition, then we can scale that even faster. We can actually, because then we can work towards increasing our budget and getting a much higher rate of return, a faster return, even perhaps going past and beyond the goal. Does that make sense?
So basically, you're telling me don't focus on the leads, focus on the clients that I get you.
Focus on the clients that you will help buy your product or service,
Yes.
not on the leads, right? If we talk about leads, and I want to set some expectations here, Yafat. So in my demonstration, look, this happens, we might get 100 people to your practice, and then you might sit there and say, well, we tried to call them a day later, or, none of these lists work. I want to bring this right up front because this has happened. So I want to set some expectations here. If we get you 100 patient opportunities, you might only get to speak to 20 or 30 of those patients because of the fact of how you actually follow up. Now, if you want to, we can we have a process in place to maximize the opportunity for that person to show up or to book a scheduled appointment through our automation as part of this program, right? However, it's really important that you follow these leads up, and it's really important that we have whoever's handling those inquiries, that they help those people because they're putting up their hand saying, I'm interested, I'm in pain, I've actually clicked on your advertisement, I'm here on the phone, can you help me? And so your person is going to have to help that person to sit down, to get them to sit down in front of you. Is that fair?
Totally. Yes.
So to set the expectation correctly, even though you might have 100 leads, right, that doesn't mean you're going to have 100 people sitting in front of you, because that's going to be purely determined by how well your team performs to manage those relationships. So you need to manage the leads or manage the patients as they're coming to your practice. And one way that we can help you as part of this program is that we also, when the person clicks in, we can actually go and send a message. We can actually provide them with a form, or we actually let them know what the next step is to get them into your calendar. However, if they're calling, it's really important that they don't go to an answering machine. It's really important that a human being picks up that phone call, because if they do, you dramatically improve the chance of having that patient show up in your practice so you can help them with a plan of care. Does that make sense, Ifat?
Yeah, and I like what you did there, John, because you're putting the responsibility on me to convert, right? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to get you all these leads, but if you're going to suck at following up, then it's not part of it's not that I felt in delivering. It's like you're just not doing your part. So it's great because it kind of feels like a partnership and not kind of like, okay, I'm going to do all this stuff for you, and all you're going to have to do is just treat them.
Well, but here's the other part of this, Yafat, and in this conversation that I'm sharing with you, the demonstration, is I'm also saying, look, at the end of the day, we want to improve this as well, right? So, so as part of what we're going to do is we're going to call some of these people and we're going to see how you performed. And we're going to provide you with recordings of those phone calls so that you know that you can improve your training. Because at the end of the day, there's no point in running campaigns and driving patient opportunities to your practice if you don't help them. Because here's the thing, Yafat, if we send those people to you, and the only people that we can send to you are people who are putting up their hand saying, I need help, I'm in pain and I need help. And if you don't help them, where do you think they're going to go, Yafat?
To my competitors.
So essentially what you're going to be doing is you're going to be advertising for a competitor. And you don't want to be advertising for a competitor, do you?
Not at all.
No. So can I safely say that you are going to do everything humanly possible to help those people who've put up their hand because they're the only people, they've actually told you they are interested in what you have to offer. Can you help me? So if I can ask you that if you can do everything humanly possible to make sure that you help those people into a scheduled appointment with you. We'll do our end. We have a system and a process to support that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they're talking to you, to your team. That's what we're doing. We're bringing in a person who's identified themselves as somebody who needs some help, and they've come to you for help. And the goal here is for you to step up in that moment to walk them through your process to help them. Is that fair?
Totally. Totally. I have to
Great.
pause here for a second, John. What happens, so a lot of us are not working with physical therapists, and we might not be doing Facebook ads. How do we make sure that the client does their part, on that stage in the presentation?
Well, if you're talking about providing leads for people, you have to talk about converting those leads. And you have to be very clear. You have to set expectations. So I'll give an example of a website. Like if we're developing a website and we're developing a website for conversion, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things we're going to say is we're not going to know this until we actually test and measure. Because what you measure, we can manage. If we can't measure it, then we can't do anything with it. So we're going to be setting analytics up on your new website, and we're going to drive traffic. We're going to ask you to invest in some paid advertising to drive people directly to your website. And we want to see where they land. We want to see where their behavior is. We want to see what they do. Now, if we brought 1,000 people to your website, we know that within the first 3 seconds, 700 of those people are going to leave. Because for whatever their reason, whatever they're looking at isn't relevant to what they were searching for. So they've found you in a way, somehow, for some reason, thinking that they've come to the right place, but for whatever reason, what they're seeing isn't helping them answer the question they've asked for. So about 70% of those people are going to leave within the first 3 seconds, right? Now, there's 300 people left on the website. Of those 300 people, those people are going to navigate to a page. And on average, of those 300 people, more than half of those people are probably going to be gone within the next 40 seconds because they're just looking around, seeing it again. They haven't found what they're looking for. So now we're down to about 150 people out of 1,000 people that come to your website. Out of that 150 people, those people on average are going to be spending an average of between 1 and a minute and a half on your website. Anybody spending a minute and a half, 1.5 minutes on your website is looking, is searching, is almost identifying themselves as somebody who has an interest, right? And from those people, depending on how we design our site, we want to be able to help that 150 people to click on a button, to pick up the phone and call you, to fill in a form and ask for inquiry, or to take advantage of an offer that you make on your website. And from that 150, maybe 70 of them take advantage, take the next step. And of the 70, right, we now might have only about 10 or 15 people who go all the way through to sitting down and looking at the buying opportunity. Right. So now of that 10 or 15 people, based on your conversion rate of, let's say it was a 30% conversion rate or 20% conversion rate, in your case it's 50%, right? You're going to generate between 3 and 5 sales. So out of 1,000 visitors that come to your site, you're going to generate 3 to 5 sales, and based on your plan of care, $2,000 per patient, right? Based on your insurance product, it's $5,000 or $3,000 in commissions, right? So that's $15,000 to $20,000 in commissions from 1,000 people that come and visit your site, right? So what we want to do is, because we now know those numbers, we can start to improve the structure to get much better results from your website, right? So all we're trying to do is demonstrate by saying, this is what happens, right? You need to, all of you here that are watching this training, you need to know what you do. You need to know what it is that you do, and you also need to know how what you do works for your client. You need to know how people are going to make purchasing decisions on Facebook for their leads. You need to know. You need to be looking at the types of offers that are going to be working. You need to. This is a learning process, because really, if you get it right for one client, then it's much easier to replicate it over and over and over and over again, right?
Yeah.
So this is why when I'm talking to you about, the reason why I understand the health niche is because I spend a lot of time in health niche. The reason why I understand professional services is because I understand their business. Remember, on the first day, the number one thing that I want you to do is to actually go and talk to business people to understand how businesses work. If you understand how a business works, then you can actually help those people. Right? If you don't understand how a business works, if I wouldn't understand how a physical therapy business works, then I wouldn't be able to help you. I would be giving you a very generic presentation that isn't very focused on you, you fart. It'd be just like, look, we know Facebook works. We can get you 100 leads for $1,000 a month in ad spend. Your management fee is going to be $2,500 a month or $2,000 a month for us to manage. Out of 100 leads, you should be able to close at least 10 to 15 sales or more, right? Because you're a good physical therapist. So let's do your Facebook ads, right? And then there's a big gap between me just saying Facebook ads work. Here's the process, here's the workflow, right? And at the end of that comes a customer, comes a patient, right? Now in any presentation that I do, I'm going to walk you through, as I've just described to you in this demonstration, as to how that's going to work for you, and also set the expectation of what happens. right?
Right.
The reason why Facebook campaigns don't work or people say that the leads suck is because the leads aren't managed properly. And maybe the offer might not be right. We don't even know if we've got the right offer. And maybe we haven't had enough conversations, and maybe we don't have an optimized sales process to help those people buy what it is that you have to offer. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why Facebook ads fail,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so what we want to do, Yafat, in having this conversation with you, or what I want to do, is I want to make sure you understand how to make it actually work for you. To actually finally get the result that you're looking for, so that we can work together and build on that result, right? Because I want to take you from 10 or 15 to 20 or 30 or 40, right,
Yeah.
a month. Because if we know how to get 10, then we know how to double it. And if we know how to double it, we know how to double that again. And so I want to be partnering with you to work to your aspirations to really deliver for you. But you on the other side of this coin, Yafat, have to also step up because this is your business. You're using us to do something that you're not capable of doing,
Right.
right?
Yes.
You're using our expertise and our knowledge to give you something that makes it easier for you to do the very thing that you want to do, Fart, and that is to convert a patient into a plan of care. And not only that, but you're also going to be branding. You're also going to be making yourself very visible in the market. You're also going to build a database of customers, right?
Yeah.
Because we're going to put a tracking pixel on your Facebook landing pages, and we're actually going to have the IP address of every single person that visited. And we'll be able to go and remarket to them and invite them back in. Because again, like we are now, it's taken us a few days to build a relationship. You need to build a relationship with those people who are interested in what you have to offer. And our way, this model that we've put together, enables a customer to come back and see you again and again and again because they've already visited you once. So it's almost like you're following them around on the internet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the next stage in this process. So I'm going to say, so do you like the idea of what I've just shared with you and how Facebook advertising will work for you, Part?
Totally. Yes. Can't wait
Yeah.
to implement
So
it.
yeah. So can you see how this will work for you? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions about what I've just shared,
Uh,
or are you good?
no, not at all. Very good.
Great. So look, we know, and I know this is exciting because I've just shown you how it all works, right? Look, we know that people say yes, but what I want to do is I want to explain to you, not only from the perspective of the clients that we've worked with, I want to just share with you some examples of what happens when clients say yes and the results that they get when they say yes to this type of marketing program. So let me walk you through, and I want to introduce you to Tom here. Now, Tom just started with us about 3 months ago. When he first started, first out of the gate, he generated 75 patient opportunities. He was able to close 22 of those into a plan of care, generated $42,000 worth of revenue in the first 6 weeks of running his campaign. We've got Mary here, who, for the first time ever, filled up a workshop that she's never been able to fill, where she had 25 people show up, and of the 25 people, 7 of those people just bought into a plan of care. So she made $14,000 in one day from running this campaign.
Wow.
We've got Tony. We've got Tony over here. Tony's been using the system now for 6 months. He averages. In fact, he's seen more than 700 patients or 700 patient opportunities, and of the 700 patient opportunities, he's been able to close nearly $200,000 worth of patient revenue over the last few months from running the campaigns. So, do you understand how this works?
Yeah. So can I talk to Tom or Betty and like just get their experience
I'm
with
glad
that?
you asked the question. The reason I'm sharing this with you is to share with you what happens. Ultimately, you're a very busy person, and we speak to about 10 to 15 people every day, we speak to about 30 people every month. And so one of the things that I will say to you, the results that people get are their results because they're the ones that are following up, they're assessing. At the end of the day, it is not for my clients to be selling my services to you, Yafat. And ultimately, I would imagine that you wouldn't want me to send you 30 people a week to say, hey, talk to your fart. She'll tell you exactly how cool we are, because I would imagine that would be quite intrusive. Would that be fair?
Yeah, you're right. I do have a business to run. So
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I understand, but we do. I can give you all the results. I have another 4 or 5 results here that I can share with you. But at the end of the day, I guess what I'm really demonstrating to you is that this works. If you follow through at your end and we focus on implementing our strategy, we know that you're going to generate clients. And at the end of the day, remember I said that we want this thing to pay for itself. because that's what marketing is. Marketing is an investment. It's not an expense in your business. So do you understand how this process works?
I do. Yes.
Awesome. Great. So do you have any questions right up until this point? Is everything okay? All good?
Yeah. All good. Yeah. Fantastic.
Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop here for a second, because what I'm going to do is this is where we are going to be sharing the money side of things. But before we share the money, right, I'm going to ask a particular question. So this is how you, the client, remember I said this sales process is pretty simple. We get the client to close themselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So we're going to go through and we're going to ask you, and this is going to take 4 or 5 times. You're going to ask this question 4 or 5 times, and then ultimately what's going to happen is at the end of it, the next logical step is that you buy the program, right? So
Yes.
this is how this works, right? So you're all good. You see how this program's worked. Any questions so far, Yufat?
No, no question. Everything's
Good.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So I'd like to ask you, where do you think we should go to from here, Yufat?
You said you're going to show me how it pays for itself. How does it pay for itself?
Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate you asked. Now, there's 2 things that will happen. Sometimes a person will say, oh, I don't know. You tell me, right?
Yeah.
Great. So is it okay if I show you how we work together, Yufat?
Yes.
Right? And then you go, okay, let me walk you through the plan. Let me walk you through the plan. Great. This is our plan, right? So for your program, we've got 3 options. And the reason why we give you 3 options is because they all have a different level of capability to get the outcome you're looking for. So we have a standard process for people. If you're going to look at a basic program, we can set up the campaign, do some A/B split testing, manage that campaign. The initial investment to set this campaign up is $2,000, and then we require a fee of $1,500 a month to manage that campaign, and you need to give us at least $500 to $1,000 a month in ad spend. Now, program number 2 is a little bit more comprehensive, and it's the same setup fee. It's $2,000 to set it up. However, the management fee is $2,500 a month. And what we've incorporated here is an automated follow-up system that is actually going to follow up the leads with emails, text messages, and voice drops to make sure they maximize conversions. And more importantly, so that you actually get the opportunity to convert more of those leads in this process. So this is what we call our business or practice development program. And the majority of the people we work with, Yufat, actually choose this option. Now, we do have a third option, and it's a little bit more comprehensive. The investment in that is there is a $4,000 setup fee. We have the Facebook advertising program, but we also do pre-incorporate a remarketing and omni-channel remarketing program where we actually do retargeting on other channels so that we're actually giving you a better spread. We do require a higher ad spend. You're looking at about $2,500 to $3,000 ad spend. We do have a back end, and also we monitor your appointments. So what we do is we actually provide you with training and feedback to make sure that you're improving your conversions. Now, of these 3 programs, Yufat, which do you believe suits you best?
Well, since you said it's going to pay for itself, I always want to go with the best.
So you're looking at program number 3, the comprehensive ultimate,
Yes.
Facebook package program. Okay. So, have you got any questions about that program so far?
So I don't want to do it right now on a thing because it's going to take forever. But what do you do when people go like, what specifically goes in there? What exactly am I getting?
So you're actually doing a value stack. So you're doing a line item, right? So
Yeah.
a value stack would be the strategy, the setup of the campaign, the creative, the copy. You would separate all these items, and then you would say, normally to do this, it would be $7,000, $8,000. We're going to do it for you for $3,500 to $4,000. So you're creating a value stack, so they feel like they're getting a deal. But the reason why you're giving them choices, you can give them 2 choices.
Yeah.
Or you give them 3 choices, right? 2 or 3, right? The reason why you give them 2 choices is you want a yes or yes answer. You don't want a yes or no answer, right? You want a yes or yes. So this one or this one. Most of the people we work with, they choose option number 2.
Yeah.
Which one would suit you best? Oh, option number 2, right?
Yeah.
Or look, I want the enchilada. I really want to leverage this. I'm going for option number 3. Great. Right? So then I'm going to stop right there when you've said that's okay. So it's good. You like option number 3. We've walked through the value stack. You see the value proposition from that process. And then I'm going to stop. I'm going to say, where do you think you should go to from here, Pat?
I don't know. Where should we go?
Is it okay if I walk you through how we work together?
Yeah. Yeah, please
Yeah,
do.
great. So essentially, how we start your fund is we start with an agreement, and so in that agreement, we basically have the line items and the inclusions of what we do, and more importantly, what you agree to. Can I walk you through an agreement you found?
Yes, please.
Awesome. So I'm going to send you an email, and you're going to be on your phone. You've got this email, or you're going to be on the video. You've got an email, and you're going to open it up and say, "Let's go through the agreement together." Right. So the reason why we have an agreement is we want to be very clear about what you're getting into here. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to provide: the setup, the creative, the systems, the processes, the structure. And so I'm going to sign off on that right here on the screen with
Yeah.
you as we can. So we agree to deliver these things for you, these deliverables. Now we're going to ask you. Remember, I said that you need to follow up. I need to have you agree that you're going to diligently follow up the leads. That you're going to report. You're actually going to report your sales to us that you're actually generating from the conversion, so we know that we're actually delivering and improving the opportunity of getting better leads, and that you're actually going to make sure that you pay your bills on time, and that you provide the resources that we need to be able to help you. So I need you to just sign the document just there. You okay with that? Just sign
Yeah.
on the screen.
Totally. Yes.
Great. So I agree, you agree, right? Now, here's my agreement, right? We have a 12-month program. The reason why this is a 12-month program, Yafat, is because we need time to build this campaign to get better and better and better results as we grow along. And the idea is we want to build a customer base. All those leads will turn into prospective customers, not just in the moment of their inquiry, but also following up with our campaigns to make sure that they come back and invest in your services. So this is why we've developed a 12-month program. Are you okay with that, Yafat?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Well,
Great.
but wait
So
a
can
second.
you
You know
sign
what?
here? Yeah.
Actually, 12 months, like, what if it doesn't work? Can I not bail out after like 6 months? Like, what happens?
At the end of the day, our guarantee is that you at least get a return on your investment. For us, we want to make sure that you at least get 30 to 50 patient opportunities every single month. If we gave you 50 opportunities, based on your numbers, you should be able to close 10 to 15 of those patients. This gives you a significant 4, 5, or 7-to-1 rate of return on your investment.
Yeah, but I've heard that for so many people, like, and then they started and nothing happened. So what if you don't deliver on that stuff and I never get any
Our
leads?
our goal is if we aren't delivering, we will work for free. If
Okay.
we aren't delivering the outcomes and the resolve, if in a month we don't deliver right what we're promising here, we will pay the bill. Right.
Okay.
The goal here
That's
is that
fair.
we work together to you get the results. Right. We will
Yeah.
do everything humanly possible to make this work, and at the same time, we want you to make sure you're doing what you need to help those patients buy or invest in your plan of care.
That's fair. That's more
Yeah.
than fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, awesome. So you've agreed. He's agreed. We need to take an initial installment. I normally tell people to take advantage of the frequent flyer miles. If you have a card where you get lots of miles, I would highly recommend that you use the one that you get the most frequent flyer points. Do you have that card handy to do the initial installment?
Yes, let's do this.
Awesome, great. Visa card number, great. I'll take that
Yeah.
number down. And then I'll process that. Great, we're getting started. Hey, Yafat, I just want to say I'm super excited to be working with you. I really appreciate you've done this. This is something that we work towards. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that we generate the outcomes that you're looking for in this program. So I just want to say thank you. I really am going to enjoy this with our team. Let's go and generate some patients.
Yay. Fantastic.
Now, one last thing in this process, right, is when we get off the call, I've got your credit card installment, I've got your payment, I've got your agreement, that's all signed. 5 or 10 minutes after you've agreed to do that and I've taken your payment, I would hop on my iPhone like I am right now, and very quickly, I would say, hey, Yafat, I just want to send you a quick message. I want to thank you for trusting us to look after your marketing, to deliver patients for your practice. I really appreciate the fact that you've done this and made this investment. More importantly, I've got my team here. Mary is really excited. She's going to be in touch with you very shortly to start the onboarding process with you. But I just wanted to reach out to you to say thank you. I'm really excited. We are really looking forward to working with your practice to build a process and a system that's going to predictably generate revenue for you. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the results that we can deliver for you. So thanks again for trusting us with your business.
I love it.
That's what I would send as a text message. The reason why is you want to eliminate any buyer's remorse. Now, what we've just done is we've done the optimum. That's going to happen. Some people say, but what happens if you get the objection? Like, what if you think about it? What if your money? We'll deal with some objections at another time. But this process that I've taken you through was identifying, making sure we're clear about the objective, the resolve, the outcome, the bottleneck, and the solution we're going to provide, asking permission right up to say, you can say no, I can say no. Then we went to why this, why me, why now, why this, why me, why now. Then we went to demonstration. We're going to demonstrate what we're doing. Then we went to here's how it works, here's how it gets results. And then we said, where do we go to from here? We ask permission and allow you to step in. And then you say, well, tell me how this works. Great. Then we offer more than one offer, 2 or 3 options, not one option, because one option is a yes or no deal. We offer more than one offer, right? And so we say, which of these 2 suits you best? Mm-hmm. Most of the people we work with pick this one, but we have the least that you want to do is this. This is the one that most people invest in, right? So of the 2, which you believe would suit you best, you're going to pick the one that most people buy, right? Yeah. Great. So where do you think we should go to from here? And you're going to say, well, how do we start this thing? Well, great. Let me walk you through the agreement that we have together. Here's my agreement. Here's your agreement. Sign here, sign here. We've signed, right? And now we're going to collect some money. So great. We need initial installment to get this started, right? To set this up. Best credit card that gets you most frequent flyer points, give it the numbers, and then we say thank you. We say thank you in a personal way with a video message on a mobile phone text to say, hey, thank you, really appreciate you trusting us, super excited. We're going to get this, we're going to do everything humanly possible to make this, hit this out of the park for you. We're really looking forward to working with you over the coming 12 months. So that is the sales process.
So that's fantastic. We have comments from Twitter. Yep. Robbie says, I need more clients. Robbie, you know where to come to get them.
Watch this training series, Robbie. Go and watch this training series and you'll have more clients.
You know what to do with. And now you know what to
follow the process. Yeah. I've literally given away the gold here on exactly what you got to do to go and get clients and convert clients.
Yep.
You just got to follow the steps very simply and apply these strategies.
Yep. And then now, whoever wants the pitch deck, right, and actually wants to see that, come tomorrow. We'll tell you how you can get one of those.
Tomorrow I'm going to share with you a system of how you can accelerate this a whole lot faster. So I'm going to share with you tomorrow how you can actually, all this that we've been talking about the last 5 days, I'm going to show you how you can actually speed up the process, get all the bits and pieces that you need to be able to speed this up, and more importantly, to have a process you can follow and actually maximize your conversion. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that tomorrow.
Yeah, so make sure you're here tomorrow, and if you want that. And then there's a question from Ryan. How do you have absolute confidence in your service if you're using a resource partner?
Well, a good resource partner will already have results. A good resource partner will have lots of clients that they work with. A good resource partner has funds under management if they're running campaigns. The resource partners that we work with, spend millions of dollars in advertising. They wouldn't be able to spend millions of dollars in advertising if they weren't good at what they did, right? So having confidence in your resource partner means that they train their people, they're hiring, they're scaling, they're managing. Some of the resource partners that we work with are managing over 200 clients per month with their campaigns. So they wouldn't be doing very well if they couldn't manage 200 clients. So how do I have confidence? I want to understand what they do in relation to how they deliver. I want to understand how we work together better. I want to understand how they maximize the results for our clients and what we do to contribute to that. And if we have that conversation with our resource partners, I'll guarantee you'll get a great result for your clients. And if you look at any marketing agency on the planet that has scaled, most of them, the ones that have scaled the fastest, have actually used resource partners. They have not gone and done fulfillment for themselves, and they have not hired an independent contractor to do fulfillment for them, because an independent contractor is unreliable, whereas a resource partner that has a team has backup, and that's what you want. You want a person that has backup, training, systems, processes, and onboarding, the things that you don't have, right, or might not have effectively. And so that's why you want to have good communication with your resource partner to say, hey, if you're managing so many clients, can you give us a rough idea of what the expectations are so that we can actually manage those expectations with our clients and know that we're working towards those results. So that's hopefully that answers your questions. I know we're coming up to time, but I'm happy to hang out for a few minutes to answer questions directly. If anybody wants to jump on or anybody wants to answer questions, I'm happy to answer a couple of questions and hang out for a little bit if you want.
So Mike Laswell on Facebook says you have to know your COAs, cost of acquisition, and your KPIs in order to have this presentation the way it needs to be. From Twitter, Citizen Archeon says hi. Hi, Fat. Hi, John. So hi, come on over next time. And so tomorrow, what we're going to talk about is we are going to talk about how to accelerate this entire process, right? The 4 questions that make prospects want to work with you. And we're going to give them a way to accelerate the whole thing, right? And actually work with you, John, right?
Yeah. I'm going to show something we're actually doing very, very differently. But the idea is that you generate, the idea is to add $10,000 to $20,000 worth of recurring revenue within a 30 to 90 day period. That's the goal. So we're going to show you how you can do that, how you can speed that process up.
And we have Mahesh. See?
Mahesh, yeah.
Yeah?
So I was using your strategy to get a prospects list, like you shared the associations list. But when it comes to the health professionals, like neurologist and radiologist, there are no professions at all. And in the directories, we have just the name and phone number. In these cases,
so the easiest way to do that, you can either search the practice online and look for a naming convention. There are things like hunter.io. There's a whole bunch of tools like Seamless is another one where you can actually get verifications of emails. Or the other way to do this, Mahesh, is pick up the phone and say, hey, what's the best email for Dr. Bob? And they'll say drbob@abcpractice.com. Right? If you had somebody, if you sat there and you could get 10 or 15 names in less than an hour, very easily, if you just sat there and said, look, I've got the details here of the practice. I just want to make sure we're sending the right invitation to the right person. The best email to send to Dr. Bob. And then I'll say, it's drbob@abcpractice.com. You can find, there are services online or even in Upwork that you can find where people actually find the actual emails of those prospects for you. But that should not stop you from, you're asking me a question that is Googleable, right? This is the easiest thing in the world to find somebody's email. It's not hard. You either pick up a phone or you can actually find a source online to Google, say, hey, I need an email list. There are email lists right now for free. If you just Google email lists of whatever niche that you choose, there are email lists right now that are free that you can get access to. Right, so because they're published all the time. So if you haven't got an email, then you've got a couple of ways to do that. You can pick up the phone and call them to find out what the email is. Or you could use their contact page, say who is the best person that I should be directing this to, or how do I direct this to Dr. Bob, right? You can request it, or you can actually source the email by using things like hunter.io and some of the naming convention softwares online. But just Google it, Mahesh. It's not hard. It's not hard.
Yeah,
okay. Awesome. Thank you. Back to you, Fat.
Yes. So this is great. I think we are ready for tomorrow. Guys, if this has been a long and you've kind of like been struggling with the process, make sure you join tomorrow because I'm going to show you how to do it way faster. Where are you going to be, John, tomorrow?
I'm going to be still in California.
Still in California.
I've actually moved from one location and moved to another location, but I'm in Los Angeles at the moment. So I'll be here for a couple of days whilst we're going through these trainings, and then I'll be flying off again to Brisbane, Australia.
Yeah, and so guys, we will be here this weekend as well. So you have some time to actually implement all that stuff, get some result, like Maesh and other people who are, getting some experience, coming back here and going like, look, I did this and this will happen. What do I do now? This is your opportunity to do that.
One of the things I would recommend, if you want me to answer your questions directly, we've had hundreds of people ask questions. But if you want me to help you live, if you want me to script stuff for you, hop on the call, come and hop on the trainings over the next few days, and I'll actually help you live on the call. So I'm literally going to give you live coaching in this training. I cannot give you better than that. Because people pay me a lot of money for that coaching. So you can get it right here on this live streaming, on this live training at consultingrocket.tv for free. If you show up to the live, you can actually hop in, ask your question, and I can very clearly give you an answer that is going to at least help you to take the next step to maximize your opportunity to generate a result or generate the results you're looking for. So if you want my help, I'm making myself available over the next 4 days for you to get direct help with me. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing how you can actually speed this process up by utilizing some of the resources that I have available, and more importantly, to have more access to me. So looking forward to seeing all of you here tomorrow.
One last question from YouTube. Are directories a good business idea?
Are directories a good business idea, as in creating a directory or getting leads from a directory?
So,
are directories a good business idea? Yes, directories are, and there's lots of directories out there. But to make a directory work, you have a chicken and egg scenario. You need an audience and you need a client base. And so what most people do with directories is they offer free registration, and then you have to run traffic. You know, the biggest directories in the world spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to get traffic to their sites so that their customers can benefit. And if you look at sites like house.com, trader.com, all these aggregator sites that are out there, bookings.com and those sorts of sites, they spend millions of dollars on advertising to drive traffic, but they also charge people to take a position on those websites. So it's a little bit of a chicken and egg. You've got to have the people on the site that receive the customers, and you've got to have the traffic of the customers who are looking to find. So if you're asking me, are directories a good business? They can be, but you need money to make them work. You can't just think that they're going to work for free because they won't. This is not a new idea. But the ones that are working are the ones that are investing a lot of capital and a lot of money to make that work. And when I say a lot of money, a lot. I'm talking millions of dollars to make it work. But if you're looking to source leads out of directories, absolutely. You know, the Inc. 5000 list, the house.com.au, high pages, even Indeed, the recruitment website will give you leads if you for people who are looking for your skill sets, looking to hire because they're finding it a challenge to find people. Getting leads from directories is a fantastic idea. Many of the people that I work with have generated leads from directories online.
Well, that was the question. The question was creating a directory. So if you're a millionaire and you will have some money to spend and some time to do that, good idea, right?
Absolutely. And there's no guarantees. You have to work it like a business, like any business.
Yeah. So thank you, John. Go have dinner. We're going to call it a night and see you guys tomorrow with a faster way to accelerate everything. So have a great night. We're halfway there. 5 more days to go.
Thank you. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.